Hi, welcome to Miss Annette's little farm in the big city. Now that we have the compost bin completely done, and I guess I kind of switched from pile and bin. Now that we have it all built and put together, I need to get that compost and do some things with it. So I still have to plant my daffodils. I have them all planted in the shade garden, but then I remembered I didn't plant them any in the mini orchard. I got to plant some over here, I got to plant some over there, and I'm going to use a lot of the compost for that as well. The vegetable garden here on the little farm is a succession garden, which means there is always something growing in it. When something dies, I plant something else, and it just keeps going and going. So it works really hard, and I want to spend some time rejuvenating the soil, and that is why I put the leaf litter in there a couple of weeks ago. And so whatever compost I have left over after I'm done planting my daffodils, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the garden. So let's grab my daffodils and get started. We're going to start in the compost pile. Compost benefits bulbs by improving soil structure, providing essential nutrients and enhancing water retention. To use it, we're going to mix the compost into the soil and use it as a top dressing before planting, blending it with soil to fill voids and level the ground. I try really hard when we're putting things in the compost not to put sticks in there, but sometimes I do have to put green in there. And what you want are browns and greens in your compost. And a lot of the greens are still attached to the twigs or whatever, and I'll put them in there. But I try not to put big pieces of wood in there, just because. Now, a lot of people, when they compost, they have a little compost screen, and they shake it and screen it out. And I probably will do that when coming spring, when I want to start planting seeds. I may do that. But right now, it doesn't really matter to me because this compost right now is going back into the earth, and it'll completely compost and go back into the earth to fertilize. The only thing I'm kind of looking through this to find is if there's any metal pieces, which yes, I find some metal pieces, glass, or plastic, and then I'll just throw that out. But I really don't see too much of that here. We do a pretty good job of trying to keep it pretty clean. So, and then you'll see all kinds of insects growing. In the summertime, you see a lot of worms in this compost. And right now you see roly-polies and I'm not sure what these centipedes or whatever, millipedes, whatever those are called. And those are decomposers. No, they want me. They don't like me on the other side of this gate. You all right? Well, I had every intention of finishing up with my compost yesterday. And since I've started working in the front yard, trying to plant some of my bulbs in the front yard, I get stopped several times by neighbors. and one of the neighbors had 3 of their children with them, and they wanted to see the goats and the chickens and the ducks. So of course I said, come on in. And I didn't get time to finish my job that I wanted to do yesterday. So I want to try to finish it up today. I want to get the soil in the garden, which is my number one goal, and I want to get my bulbs planted. Am I going to be able to get that done today? I don't know. It's crazy. I have the animals out, letting them graze and run around, kick up their heels. But I will have to put the goats away because they'll follow me into the garden. But let's go ahead and get some other stuff finished, like the bulbs and stuff. Using my compost just makes me so proud, and as I'm planting my bulbs, I'm thinking about all of the things I've accomplished so far this spring and summer and this fall, that we've been able to check almost everything off of our to-do list that I came up with. And I think that's a lot to be proud of. And I'm so happy that I get to share all that with you. Even though I used a lot of the compost to finish up putting out the bulbs, I still have plenty for the garden. And I am going to go ahead and dig it all up as much as I can. This rich soil is like black gold for the garden. Steve bought me this wheelbarrow when we first got married, and it has been working so well ever since. And we laugh every time we see it because it is beat up and we've had to replace the front wheel, but we still use it, and it has been a good friend to me and to my garden. I think mixing the compost and the leaf litter together will help the leaf litter decompose, and it will help the compost, the nutrients from the compost, get down into the soil. So I am raking it up a little bit just to mix it up. So I went to the post office today, and it's by Goodwill. So I just decided to go ahead and go in, and I'm so glad I did, because I've been wanting some burlap to wrap some of my plants in. And luckily for me, the Goodwill had some, and it was probably about $3.99, I think, and that was for about 2.5 yards. So I thought that was a pretty good deal, and I wanted to go ahead and use it. I'm going to cover my lilac bush, my rose bush, and my fruit trees to keep the goats from eating it more than anything. I'm putting the burlap around the cages that I have around the fruit trees. Then once I get the burlap situated around the cage, I will fill the cage up with some leaf litter, and that will help insulate my little trees. They're only a couple of years old, so they're still not quite mature, and it would take the goats just a couple of gobbles and they would decimate these trees very easily. So I want to make sure that I am protecting them and keeping them safe for the winter, warm for the winter. They're still so fragile, and in a few years, I know that they're going to be big and beautiful, and I won't have to do this anymore. But right now, I feel like they're babies, and I need to take care of them. Autumn Leaves, a poem by James McSinery. I'm but an autumn leaf upon the ground, a remnant of all summers past. The ember sun above me shines to warm me on my bed of grass. My golden skin, now paper thin, moves in rhythm with the wind. And though I have no place to call my home, I still belong to where the seasons roam, be it summer, winter, spring, or fall, regardless of the time of day. Oh, how I dance amongst the sea of souls, unafraid of change that comes my way. And though the years may differ each time around, I'll forever be an autumn leaf upon the ground. Gardens are now put to sleep, put to bed. I'm going to do one more round of raking up front and take, if I don't mulch all the leaves up front, I will use them in my flower beds, in the tea garden and the herb garden. So I'll be using those leaves for that. But I've got this stuff taken care of back here. I have the garden, vegetable garden taken care of. Using those leaves, making compost. I mean, all of that stuff, just not having to really go anywhere to get anything. I did get some bone meal, but, you know, that's an extra precaution. I could have put that compost down, it would have been fine. So there we go. The garden is put to bed. Nice and sleepy now. We've had some quite cold weather, and we're getting into another warm front here for the next few days. So who knows what we'll be up to here on the little farm. Thank you guys for stopping by, sharing the love here on the little farm with your likes and your comments and your subscribing. I truly appreciate that. I really do. I can feel the love, and I hope that you can feel the love coming back to you as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by and visiting me here on Miss Annette's little farm in the big city. Try to get outside today if you can. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. I will see you next time. Bye. Love you so much. Taking a nap. Cotton is taking a nap. And Betcha is taking a nap. Look at that. A good girl. So sweetie. And Dulce's just running around. They had some apple snacks a little bit ago, and I stuck that bag in the hole right there so their apples wouldn't fall through.